What's up, guys? Welcome back to the channel. You know where you're at. Yak Nasty Adventures in Fishing. And today, guys, it's an episode we've been waiting for. All right? It's Bow to the Stern. Bonafide P127, aka Essie Rundown. Okay, so we're just gonna walk through the kayak. We're gonna, give her first full look to the world. Of course, I've been on it a few times and ran through 2 tournaments on it, and I can't wait till the next video to give you the on the water review of my new Bonafide P127. But before we get started, I just want to tell you, it's been about 10 days since I last posted a video. I had some things going on this way and that way where some jokers stole my mower. And of course, my mower was the way I was paying for my tournament fees and everything else. So I had a little personal struggle going on with that. And I still don't have the mower, but I did end up with my trailer back. So, it was rough. And then I was in my head a little bit about that. So I just want to say I need to get more consistent with posting these here videos and getting in touch with you guys on that level and that basis, because I want to make Yak Nasty grow, guys. Hey, you guys can help me do it by hitting that like and subscribe button, guys. So I'm still going to be fishing. We just got to walk through those pits and valleys, that come to us in life. You know what I mean? So we're just going to move on, and we're going to keep on growing, and we're going to keep on doing what we're doing. I also want to tell you guys, I'm going to be using some clips and some footage, all right, that highlights some of the area of the kayak, some with my phone, all right, that I did myself. And then my 10-year-old daughter, Lachey, helped me out with some footage. And, hey, can't wait to see what she has recorded for you. Yeah, you might see her or hear about her more often. And I do have 3 other daughters in the house as well. And I got 3 sons that are outside the house. But this one in particular I'm talking about, my 10-year-old girl, man, she's starting to want to be involved in what I'm doing. And I'm really loving it. So I just had to say that. So love you, baby. Thank you. If you watch this later on, which I'm pretty sure you will, right? Because your stuff's in it. So let's get on to the good stuff. We're going to start right at the bow, guys. This handle is hardcore, guys. It's held in with 2 Phillips screwdrivers. And at the same time, it almost has like a counter feature for the weight so that the leverage is just right on the handle. Now, with this handle, it's a hard plastic on top, and it has a rubber grip on the bottom. All right, guys, so it's screwed in pretty good right in here, but you can take it all off if you needed to. I don't see a purpose in having to take this thing off, okay? Because this handle is pure D bonafide, guys. All right, so this thing definitely is heavy duty and can carry this kayak and all the stuff I got on it, and it doesn't really flex at all. Right, so long as you go over when you first get the kayak and check and make sure there's no loose screws or anything like that can cause damage if stressed out the wrong way. So you always want to check on that when you're getting any kind of anything that you buy, appliances, boats, trucks, cars, whatever. You just want to make sure there's no loose bolts, and you want to go over everything to make sure that it's all good to go before you try to go. All right, guys. And yeah, that's where we're going to start, man. That handle is awesome, and it's heavy duty. That's pretty much it. It's a handle, guys. It works good. That's all I got. So moving on from the handle, we have our bow mount plate, okay? This plate right here, Bonafide put on to give you the ability to accessorize this kayak and to do whatever you want to do. It's almost a rigger's dream. If you like rigging stuff, this here is a part of your process, all right? You can put your power poles on this mount. You can do a bow mount motor on this thing. I personally would do a stern mount. I would not do a bow mount. I do like a lot of the features of this kayak, and we'll get into maybe why later on I'm choosing stern over bow, all right? But this plate, it's a hard duty plate. It's pretty thick. It's held in by 4 heavy duty stainless steel Phillips screws, and these things have been pretty sturdy. I don't have anything on the bow right now because I'm trying to leave my mind open to future rigging thoughts and processes that may take place. So I don't know. We'll see where that takes us. All right. So yeah, it comes with this plate. All right. And man, I don't have any complaints, but I haven't done anything with it. I'm pretty sure it does what it's supposed to do. All right. So you don't have to drill into your kayak. You have a plate that you could drill into. So moving on from the bow mount to our front cargo hold, guys. Oh my goodness, man. I'm going to tell you right now, this is a big portion of why I bought this kayak, man. So let me open it up right here from the front, guys. Let me show you this. Pop that right on open. Look at that. Wide open. I did take the insert out for the moment, and I'll be grabbing that and putting that back in sometime during this video, all right, guys, which will be probably shortly. But inside this here hatch, you can go anywhere you need to go. Like I said, perfect for rigging. It's a lot of space in here, all right? Even have a little platform where you can put your little smaller batteries at, you know, for your units that you're going to use, anything like that. They even told me, right, that you could put a fishing rod in here too. I don't know if I'm going to do that, but you can definitely put your little switchboards, your fuse boxes and centers, all in here and run them throughout the kayak, guys, all the way through. You can reach whatever you're going to need to reach to do any rigging you're going to need to do. So this thing is really, really showing itself off, right? And we've only moved to the top 3 features, you know, the first 3 features of this thing. And you got a wide open hull and it's heavy duty. You can put whatever you need in that, right? So let me grab this insert and show you what I'm going to do here. Now, so this insert, right, that little front pocket cargo area, that insert, man, it can hold a battery. It can hold your anchor. Right now, I got tackle inside this right now, and my anchor, it's where I keep the tools, scupper plugs, and even some top secret baits, which you guys are going to see and hear about shortly, because I do have a bait review coming up, and I think you guys are going to enjoy it. But beside that, if you look, this hatch wide open in the front. It just, you know, you can get full access to it. All right, then we're going to close it. We're going to lock it back down. After we lock the front back down, guys, we're going to unlock the rear part of the hatch. Yeah, you got it. It latches down from both sides. So now I can reach it from the cockpit area with ease and bam, access to all my stuff, all right? So you can do all kinds of things with this setup, all right? You can put units right up here on this here hatch top, and you can definitely just do what you want. And you can always buy another one if you mess it up, and it's a lot cheaper than buying a new kayak because you drilled into the hull and mess something up, all right, guys? Another key feature to this front hatch and lid setup I got going on here, guys, watch this. You just unlock the front, you leave the back open, and then you just take the whole thing off. Now you have full access to the front. You can get inside. You can rig up how you want to rig up. And that, to me, is totally neat. You can even take it off and roll open front hatch if you wanted to. I don't know why anybody would do that, but maybe there's a reason and maybe it would work out, right? You know, you want to put a little baby live well there or something like that. I don't know. But, you know, Lock that on back in. That is an awesome feature to have on a kayak, guys. So, you know, when I first seen that, after looking up so many kayaks and researching, when I first seen that, and this was the only one that had a very good aesthetic look to it. It was functional, fully functional, not partially, and it doesn't seem to have any issues out there. With all the reviews I've checked out and seeing this kayak a couple years later, right, from the originals, these guys are still out there rolling and they're doing their thing, and these are keeping up strong, all right? Another key feature of this hatch is it has this rubber lining right here, guys. All right. So it's fairly waterproof unless you put a hose to it, and then you might get some water in the hull there. But outside of that, it has to be pretty good pressurized water to get up underneath this lip with that nice waterproof seal to it. So it can take on water and you will be just fine, you know? Look at that. Oh my goodness. Now, coming from that front hatch is going to be where you can run your transducer line down the center. Yes, guys, you can run your battery inside here. You don't have to drill any holes to get down and make anything happen. You don't have to do that because BONAFIDE thought about it, right? They went ahead and put a nice little it's not an eyelet, but a nice wire keeper right there, guys. So you can run your transducer wire right through there, run it down this hole to a platform that's already made for a transducer, guys. And it also has a mounting plate. So you don't have to drill any holes. You just attach to that mounting plate, guys, and your transducer has a set place, a safe place under the boat at all times. That way you don't even have to worry about it. You don't have to worry about your switchblade or sling blades or anything like that, even though Yak Attack does make some good ones. And I even fabricated one for my Castaway Angler 100. And hey man, if it works, it works. I'm also a DIY guy. So but I don't have to do that with this kayak because it's all set for a unit. You run your transducer. You can buy a little, you know, water protecting grommet right there to run your wire through, and you'll be just fine. So that is an awesome feature, and everything coming from this front hatch so far, you know, when I was checking them out, was a feature that I really dug. Even though I don't have anything on here yet, it's open to possibilities. I save up my money. I work a little hard, you know, since they took my mower, right? So now I got to figure some things out if I want to get that side scan unit that I really want to put on here, guys. So, you know, it's ready though. It's ready to go. It's a piece of cake, right? Just plug and play. Another feature of this kayak, guys, and we're not going to skip over it, are these rod tip protectors. All right. They're not bad if you're rolling with nothing on your kayak, but your seat and your pedal drive, nothing on your rails, it'll be just fine. But for the most part, guys, I'm going to keep it real short on these rod tip holders. I probably will not be using them too much. They're going to get in the way, like the one on the steering side. It kind of gets in the way, so you're not going to be able to do that. And then if you add an attachment, you definitely can't do that, all right? So it's just not something that sold me, but I do like the way it looks. It looks neat. It's very aesthetically pleasing to the eyes, you know what I mean? So, you know, you can use them if you're just going with two rods and you got nothing going on there. You can work it out, okay? But I won't be using the rod tip protectors very, very much at all right? Moving on from those rod tip protectors, we're going to talk about this deck in the deck space, right? Right now you see it doesn't have a seat on it. It doesn't have the pedal drive on it. But I got to say, guys, the decking has a good amount of room, all right? You can stand on it. You can even go up, you know, a few steps and still be fine and have the space to do it. Now, if you're a taller guy like me, I'm 6'4", 205 pounds. My seat sits back a little further, all right? So that gives me a little more room in the deck, all right? So if you're shorter, your seat's gonna be up a little closer, and you really may not have as much room to stand and maneuver and do other things of that nature, all right? So the deck itself is pretty sturdy. I haven't had any flex in it. I didn't see any weaknesses in it at all. And to be honest, I think I can stand on it now and be just fine, but I'm not going to do that, all right? But yeah, no problems there. It came with the wood grain style matting, and that matting is phenomenal, man. It has you know, the ability to quiet anything you drop, as long as you drop it on the mat, right? Um, you know, I've dropped some things, weights, hooks, you know, that probably make a lot of noise from underwater, right? Or the sound of it underwater is pretty loud to the fish, and they know you're there. This does help with that and dampens that sound, all right? So it's a very, very awesome key feature on this boat, all right? So BONAFIDE really did the thing. Oh, we're starting to get a little wind, so hopefully we don't get so much wind slap going on in this video, all right? I think this is the third attempt at doing this video. All right, no joke, no joke. Now, the deck has 6 scupper holes in it, guys, and it does come with scupper plugs, all right? So, pretty big scupper plugs, not bad. Pretty big holes, so I suggest you keep your scupper plugs in unless it's like a real hot sunny day and you're just traveling light, because these BONAFIDE kayaks are also known to have wet decks, all right? They normally keep a little bit of standing water on them, and I haven't had the scupper plugs out to really worried about it. We're waiting for the water to warm up, and then I'll really check that part out. So wait till later on, and you guys will know what I think about it with the plugs out. But right now I keep them in, and I haven't had any issues with any leaking or any water coming in. So pretty good scupper plugs that they send with you as well. You know, from the deck, we're gonna go to the center console. The center console, it's not bad. I just throw some spare baits there. You can't really use the cup holder. I'm not sure if it's a cup holder or a water collection spot for when you lift your drive up and you want to stage your drive right there on the center console. All right, guys, so I'm not really sure about it, but I don't put my cup there anyway, so it's just fine. I put some used baits right there or next up baits, and it really serves its purpose for me. You know, I'm coming from a Pelican Castaway 100 angler, guys, you know, pretty basic $300 kayak. So this is a major jump for me. So these features are still blowing my mind because, you know, it's a pretty premium kayak, you know what I mean? Made in the USA, might I add. So, you know, I'm just supporting the home team as well. All right, guys. But back to the center console, it is totally detachable. All right. You could take these bungees off right here. And you take those bungees off. Let's get that water out. And you can just take the center console right on out. And now that we have the center console out, I might as well get to it, right? The native Propel Drive. Yeah, guys. This Propel Drive, made by Native Watercraft, I'm going to tell you, is the jam. All right. So we just lock it in. We put it right in its little spot right there. And we take our center console and we just stage it up just like that. All right. So when you're, you know, in the weeds, shallow water, just getting in the water at the boat ramp, you know, you just stage it in, you lock it in with these locking devices here. And this thing is pretty good. And you can roll it, you can flip it like this here, and you'll be just fine. So if you do go to flip your kayak, I think that it's gonna stay there, okay? In most cases, all right? Now, you know, things happen, malfunction. but I don't see that happening if you do happen to flip this kayak. And I don't know, we're gonna see if that's a thing on the water, right? So we'll be talking about that and showing that later on with the on the water review. All right. So with this drive, you could just do your thing. You can just do your thing. And so we're just going to straighten that up. And you drop this drive right down through the center here. And you can lock it back in. You lock that thing right back in. And you're good to go. So the native Propel Drive, I tell you, man, that 10-to-1 ratio, you're just pedaling. Oh my goodness, you don't even realize it, but just cruising, you're going 3 miles an hour, you know, just cruising, guys. In tough winds, maybe not, you know, as fast as you normally go, but on flat water, I'm telling you, it's easy to get to 4 miles an hour. You know, just pedaling, doing your thing. So that has been an awesome key feature, and really one of the main reasons, not the main reason, but one of the main reasons, guys, why I bought this kayak is that native Propel Drive, all right? That thing is awesome. It does its thing, and man, it'll get you cruising. Big difference from paddling all around the lake, all around the pond, trying to stay, you know, in position for those fish. It's just a huge difference, guys. Big difference, man. And whew, it's still Christmas Day for me right now talking about it, all right? So we're gonna lift this drive up. Now, if you wanna lock this drive in the down position, I forgot to mention, there's a third latch. That third latch locks it in place, and this drive is not going anywhere. But I also ride with it unlatched on that last lock in, okay, guys? Because just in case I hit something, all right, if I see something coming, I haven't had any issues with it kicking out or kicking back. So, you know, it's all good there for me in that sense. But if you go to hit a log, you still want a little bit of wiggle room there, guys, so you don't snap anything off, you don't damage anything. You still want that, you know, little bit of give, all right, when you ram into something on the water going any speed, all right, guys? So you always want to pay attention to that. So I just keep it unlatched on that third one and just keep those front two done. And I have that swivel action so I can just quickly take that center console out. And this is how we're going to lift this drive up, is we're going to put our indexer down, all right? And then we paddle it, we hit it, pull it right on up. Bam, just like that, just that easy. All right, guys, piece of cake. Piece of cake. That is the key feature of why I bought this kayak, man. It just, wow. I mean, wow, man. That is still amazing to me, and it has a handle, and I think this thing weighs about 20 pounds or so. Not real heavy, not cumbersome. It is awkward because it doesn't break down or anything. It's just that piece right there, and you pick it up and you go put it in the back of the truck, your back seat, whatever you got to do, but that's how it's going to come to you. All right, guys, just like this, or you might have to put that bar in when you get it. So I haven't had any issues with water splashing up. The native Propel Drive actually just, it does a lot better than I expected, okay? I didn't expect it to operate as well as it does, and I'm pretty proud of that drive thus far. So native Propel Drive, awesome stuff on this BONAFIDE P127. All right, now this P127 also comes with like 11, 12 tracks. All right, so it's 2, 4, 6, 8, 10. 10. Comes with 10 tracks, guys. My bad. Right? I didn't even count them before I did this. Didn't even make sense. But anyway, we have that many tracks on here. And these two on the inside are mainly for your seat, all right? These two are mainly for your seat to slide back and forth on, just place the weight so you're not rubbing on your plastic and get a rub out and possibly some serious damage to your kayak. You don't want that, guys. All right. And this front set here for the seat is where you lock in your seat. It has a set of little bolts inside there. Well, set of nuts inside there. And then we just wing nut style that seat on down, and we tighten it to the kayak, guys. So, you know, the track mount is very significant to me as well, because I didn't want to have to buy a kayak and put in a bunch of track mounts and undecidedly, you know, go through a lot of painstaking efforts. I wanted it to be simple, right? If I'm going to pay a whole lot of money, I want it to be simple, right? It comes with track mounts. All I got to do is buy some attachments and put them on there, and I'm good to go. Not a whole lot of thought and brain use on it, guys. So the track mount also, right? The length of track mount on here, man, you can, I feel like you can do whatever you want to do, all right? From camera to units to you know, catch board holders, to your flag, right? That's a flag holder right there. It's made for the track mount setup. Right on there. Boom. Good to go. You never have to take it off, or you know, you can take it off if you have to. But the amount of track and rails on this system here is awesome. All right, guys. I love it. I can't say any more than that. Heading on to the next item on the list is going to be the seat, guys. Bam. Then you sit it right down there in place. And I'm not going to screw it down, but you just screw it down with these little thumb screws right here. You finger them on in, and you're good to go. And this seat is adjustable, so you can lean back and you can lean forward. And this is the stow and go position. I keep it in that when it's not in use, and I take it off and I throw it in my back seat, because I don't want it to get damaged and all weathered for no reason sitting in the back of the truck, right? So this seat is amazing. It has awesome back support, guys. I haven't had a back issue since I had it. I didn't really have a back issue on the Castaway Angler 100 unless I sat in it for 8 to 10 hours all day without stretching. Yeah, guys, it'll do it to you. But I haven't had any issues with this. And then if you do have issues with your back, they do have special pads that you could go buy, or whatever you want to put on here, all right? And this seat, man, it stays taut and it stays secure by a series of straps right here. And man, these straps, you can make it tight or loose as you want, okay, guys? And as you can see, I keep my net right here, all right? So I just clip it on in, and that's where my net stays, and that's where I put it when it's time to go fishing, all right, guys? But this seat right here is awesome, and it's also made in the USA, guys, all right? The butt part, awesome, all right? Mine's a little bit loose, but I've been kind of wearing on it a little bit, but that's not hard because we have straps underneath as well to tighten the seat however you prefer, all right? You want it tight, you want it loose, you want a little bucket seat, you can do whatever makes you feel good, right, guys? But this seat is awesome. Best believe I'm coming, once again, from a sit-on-top kayak, 300 bucks, no seat at all. You know, you're just sitting in that molded plastic, unless you have that seat cushion that I told you need to get, all right? This seat's awesome. It can fit 2 of me on it. That's how wide it is. This thing is comfortable. No issues. I feel it sits high enough. I don't have any center of gravity problems. I don't even worry about raising the seat or lowering the seat. I think it does a pretty good job. But I definitely would get risers if you're the kind of person that likes to pedal more downward. You know, if you want the pedals more below you to where you can get a little better leverage with your legs. It's all preference based, you know, but for me, I'm fine the way it is. I don't have any issues, and this seat is doing its thing. I don't feel the bar there at all. You know, I may get an awesome Yak Nasty cushion made just to have it. Why not? But I haven't had any issues with this seat at all. And another key feature to this seat, when I got it, that the original BONAFIDE P127 does not or did not have, right, was under the seat storage, guys. Man, I keep my baits under here, everything. I got little pockets where I can keep my little jig heads and things like that, my weights. It has a little front part right here where you can keep your tools, your fish grips. All right, it's got little D-rings on it where you can clip in and tether all your tools and equipment right to the seat here, and you'll be good to go. Scissors, you need them, they're right there, right there. At a moment's notice, you need to cut something, you just grab your scissors and you're good to go. And I couldn't even complain about it. It's a little bungee pocket, you know, but hey man, I'm not that choosy to need, 10 drawers at the bottom of the seat. So I'm not one of those guys. Uh, I think it's just fine. A couple packs of bait, maybe your tackle, your terminal tackle, hardware stuff, and anything you may need, your scale, some snacks, who knows, you know what I mean? But you can definitely put whatever you need on there and go right under the seat. It's awesome stuff right there, man. And if you had small lithium batteries, you can also fit one or two of those underneath the seat as well, and you will be just fine. So I think it's pretty awesome that they added that feature on this year's kayak. All right, so it's pretty awesome, right? Now I'm going to remove this seat so you can see the next feature we're going to talk about. And the next feature we're going to talk about is our steering system. It sits right here on the left, and as you can see where the seat was, it does go under the seat. All right, so if you're going to make a hard right and you got this to where you need to turn it underneath the seat, it will go underneath the seat. I don't think it poses too much of a problem for me. Personally, I just tightened up my rudder cables just enough to where it's good, and the reaction to the turn works out just fine for me. But at the same time, it does go under the seat. All right. So if you can't, one of those guys, older, you might have a little arthritis or, just pain in your hand or something, trying to just grab the tip of this doesn't always work for you. You know what I mean? So, that's pretty much the only feature when it comes to turning this. It will go under the seat. Other than that, I think it's perfect. A lot of guys, they want it on the right side, or they want to have the ability to switch sides with their steering. And I understand that as well. But I do a lot of left-handed stuff, even though I'm primarily right-handed. So therefore, it doesn't bother me. I'm casting out with my right. Okay, so I'm steering with this, put it in the direction, and then I reel, guys. And it serves its purpose perfectly for me. So I don't have any issues with it, and I think it's a pretty great feature to have on your kayak. Now, this steering, all right, goes back to a drop-down rudder. The drop-down rudder is controlled by this cable here. You just pull that out and let that rudder drop, and then you can pull it to bring that rudder back up. All right. Now, the only thing, if I wanted to complain about something, would be that this dangles. It hits the kayak. It makes noise. It does that. Sometimes it'll go down by itself when you think you've got it all locked in. All right, guys. So that's, that can be worked on, but at the end of the day, not a bad feature. And I think I have an idea to make that work out with no issues. All right. I haven't seen any videos on it, but I think I have a good DIY that will really help that process out a little bit. And no worries. Nothing to worry about there. Piece of cake, all right? But our drop-down rudder is controlled right there, all right? Now that we drop down, we can turn to a very full extent, all right? Now, with that rudder up, you have limited steering, being as though the hull is like a catamaran style. It's more like a tri-hull, but catamaran. It's kind of mix it up in there. But yeah, man, it's pretty awesome stuff because it'll sit in there out of the weeds, out of the junk, out of the way when you need it to, all right? And that thing sits up above flush with the back of the kayak. So if I had to lay this down on the ground right where it's at, it will be just fine and will not break that rudder, all right? And it is a spring-loaded rudder, which is also a great feature. And I do believe there's a kit to you know, a spring kit, I guess, to bring it up faster, bring it down slower, however you want it. But right now I don't have any desire to do that unless this one wears out, and then I'll just go get a spring kit that won't wear out as fast. All right, guys. So with that rudder system, it's awesome. The steering's great. Turn radius, you're gonna have to see that on the water review. And yeah, that's how that's gonna go, guys. But moving on from our rudder system and steering, right? We're gonna talk about our tank well here in the rear. This thing is huge, okay? I put my milk crate there. I put my outdoor bag right behind my seat, and it's still just a little bit of room for some junk, some trash, whatever you want to throw back there. You can actually put something else right there. But I have a small milk crate, okay? It's made for a Yak Attack black box, and it also has the indentations and the wood grain padding back there to dampen any noise and beating and banging that, you know, your black pack or milk crate would do. All right. So it just sits perfect. It's a big tank well. It's got 2 big scupper holes in it. So if you take on water, you can get that water right out of the boat with no problems quickly. All right. So this thing is pretty neat as far as the size. It has that tapered look. I mean, it'd be cool if it was, you know, squared off a little bit. That gives you that usable space. It's probably a good 5-6 inches, it looks like, that of space that, you know, could have been utilized. But you know, I think that's everybody's gripe actually with this, but with this section here. But I don't think it's a big gripe for me. All right. I just see how that design, you know, could have been a little bit better with spacing. But you know, I think it looks better like it is. All right. Now, this rear tank well has a removable hatch to it. All right. You take out these 4 screws right there, and you could reach in. You could do any repairs you got to do to cables. You can run wire. Excuse me. You can run wire all through this thing. You can get from the back to the front, no problem. So if you got a motor in the back, you could set it up where your wires are coming out right here and not lay it all across, so you have a good clean look to your kayak. You know what I mean? And you know, that tank well is awesome. It came with this sweet bungee, guys, and the bungee itself has hooks on it that are made for a black pack. But if you have a milk crate like myself, they fit perfectly in the handles of the milk crate, and they're the perfect width of a milk crate, you know, the thickness of it, that you could just hook them right on and it's no issues. It was like it was made to be that way, guys. So, you know, this tank well is pretty awesome. The bungee support is decent. I don't see it overstretching yet, so that's a good sign that I don't have to go buy a new one right away. You know what I mean? So just not bad overall when it comes to this tank well. And it's another reason why I bought this kayak, guys. Another feature are these side handles. All right. These side handles are sturdy. I mean, sturdy. Me and Dre carried it just with side handles. We had a little tippy, but where we were trying to go, that's the only way we could have done it. So we did it. And it carried it with all the stuff, the seat, the drive, and the milk crate on it. No rides, of course. We had trees overhanging, but you know, we got it in there. This is a beast, man. This thing's heavy. All right, it's really pretty heavy, guys. I think with the drive on it, it's like over 125 pounds, to be honest. But you know, it's a pretty heavy kayak. I I don't see me trying to pick it up with one hand and walk it down and get it in the water like I used to do. All right. I tried it, didn't. I can't say I tried it. I tried to pick it up like that and that didn't work. So that's pretty much where that ended at. All right, guys. So, yep, awesome feature. Now, with the paddle holder insert right here, you can only put a paddle on the right side. All right. So if you're left-handed, I like to keep my paddle on the left, but I was willing to compromise and adjust. I mean, they're not going to mold me a custom one, so I can put something on the left here and get in the way of the steering some more, right? So I could see that being an issue and why they didn't put it there. All right. So this indentation, you put your paddle right there and it sits just fine. You got your bungee that goes in, it latches from the bottom. Some people like it to latch up top, you know, where you can hook it up top. I don't really have an issue with it because my paddle's sitting up here. So when I reach down and push, that means I need it, right? So I don't want it to be complicated, tuggy pulley or anything like that. I just flicked it, you know, and when you flicked it, it was a piece of cake. It was a piece of cake, guys. So you can access your paddle fairly quickly. I like to keep my paddle right there in that position in ready go mode. All right. A lot of guys like to use the paddle holders that this kayak comes with, and it comes with two paddle holders. But I use one to hold my net up front, and I just remove the other one because I don't need it. All right. But if I need it later on, I'll pull it out. But it comes with two paddle holders that sit to the rear of the kayak that you could keep your paddle in its two parts on either side. So if you just wanted to reach back and grab and then grab, right? You grab and then grab in case of an emergency, and then put that thing together and then get out of that emergency. You see how I find that a problem? That's a safety issue for me, because when you got the wind blowing and you get a gust at 40 mile an hour, 30 mile an hour, pushing you to the bank, you don't have time to reach back and stretch it out and do this. This is a pretty long kayak, so accessing that quickly was my main thought and issue on that. But I do like the fact that it came with the paddle holders and told you to totally trust your drive and steering on this kayak, guys. So it's not a bad idea. It was a great gesture, but I'm going to keep my paddle up there, accessible and, ready to go. Okay, guys. Like I say, there's always a way that we can improve, and, maybe somewhere that can be improved. I'm probably going to put a little piece of rubber in here because I see where my paddle just been sitting there and it kind of rubs on it as it may turn back and forth. All right, guys. So I forgot to mention, this kayak also comes with two molded rod holders, guys. And on the seat, I don't know if you've seen it, but they had rod stagers that go for those rod tips, but I'm not using them. So I just forgot to talk about them, but they do have rod stagers right here. So when this is in place, your rod can go right to the rod tip there, and I'm not really going to be using them. So I don't know. You tell me your thoughts on that, and would you use them? I don't know. But it comes with two molded rod holders. They do collect water. So if you got up extra couple scupper plugs, you might want to put them in those holes when you're not using the kayak, so you ain't riding around with a bunch of water in your rod holes here. Moving on from that, we're going to check out the back of the boat, also known as the stern. And we have an area here on the kayak where we can mount a motor, power pole, any accessory you need, your camera jigs, anything like that. You can definitely mount it right on the stern of the boat. All right. So just like the bow, it has a mounting plate. This comes with a mounting plate, and you can also buy a kit for any situation accessory that you want to put there, guys. And the rear handle Oh man, it's a fold up, fold down. So it doesn't get in the way of your motor. It doesn't get in the way of your power poles. It's just right there, guys. So you can fold it right on down, tuck it down. It's sturdy. It is a pure D BONAFIDE handle. And this thing here, even though it folds, you would think it may be flimsy. It carries the weight with ease. I've even loaded this thing up and held on that handle with 2 hands. And I'm gonna tell you, that's a dang sturdy handle. All right, guys. So it's pretty much the gist of it. We checked out the rudder. We checked out everything. And I'm definitely going to tell you guys in a later episode about the tow and stow bar cart from Yak Attack and give you my review on it and what kind of terrain it can handle and what it can't handle. And that'll be coming up shortly as well. So guys, I just mentioned probably 5 videos that are coming in the future, very near future. So if you like what you've seen here, if you learned anything, if you have a BONAFIDE P127, if you have any questions about anything on this boat and how I feel about it, or any accessories or stuff like that, guys, write it down in the comment section, guys. You know, ask me a question. Tell me what you think. If you have a kayak, what kind do you got? And how do you like it in comparison possibly to the BONAFIDE P127? Because I know there's a lot of Hobie guys out there that just will only do Hobie. No shots to my man Dave. Yeah, you know what I'm talking about, Dave. And to the homie Jeff, hey man, here it is. P127. I'm loving it, man. I'm loving it. To answer your question, the last video, the new Yak, also known as Essie, is doing great. So thanks, guys. I hope you liked the video. Hit that like, hit subscribe, share, tell a friend. We're trying to grow this thing, and hey, it's my time. So tight lines and all that good stuff everybody says. Peace. Woo. That's what I'm talking about. That is what I'm talking about. That's what you call a good dang video. BONAFIDE P127.